The White Sox met the media today, and it was awesome. The White Sox, as you may remember, hired the almost octogenarian Tony La Russa to be their manager. They've got Rick Hahn as their GM, president of baseball ops. It's Kenny Williams. They've made a lot of moves this offseason. They had a very good year last year. They made even more. They signed the best bullpen arm on the market. Liam Hendricks left Oakland to go to Chicago, signed that $54 million deal, if you recall. They have that great young player, Louis Robert. They still have Lucas Giolito in their rotation. They re-signed Carlos Rodon. They have Dallas Keuchel from last year. Whatever, they've got a good team. When you go into spring training, and I talked about this either on a radio show or on this show. Coca, did I talk about meeting the team and always having hope? I don't know if I did that on this show. Anyway, you meet the team before spring training starts. You have a team meeting and you talk about expectations. You go over rules. And one of the things you always say is, listen, ignore the projections. Oh, I think we did talk about projections on Nothing Personal. Anyway, ignore the projections. We're going to be good. If you're supposed to be good, we say, pay attention to the projections and you better work hard to live up to them so we don't disappoint them. If we're projected to be bad, you say ignore them. It's just, you spin it however you want to spin it to make sure that you've got hope. And you're doing that because then you get to meet the public and the media and you get to say, we're in it to win it. This is our year. What Rick Hahn did today is a bit of a concern to me. He said, as we sit here today, I'm going to explain why he started with that. The goal is to win a World Series championship. And so, Rick Hahn said, if we fall short of that, it would be a disappointment. I think you got to talk about making the playoffs. Everyone wants to win the World Series, but you got to make the playoffs to win the World Series. Once you're in the playoffs, a lot of things have to happen that you don't control. Everyone has a goal to win the World Series championship. The reason why he says as we sit here today is because tomorrow his top two starters could get injured. Tomorrow Hendricks could be ineffective and become a bad closer. Tomorrow Louis Robert could have sophomore blues. Tomorrow all sorts of stuff could happen. But today, the goal is to win a World Series championship. That leaves open the possibility of trading a bunch of guys at the deadline if they stink, by the way, just so you know. So I don't like that he said that because it basically isn't saying anything. And if you're going to meet the media, which you do before the start of the official spring training, give me something good. Give the writers something with meat that they can chew on. Well, La Russa met the media. He gave him some good stuff. He talked about his DUI. Do you remember when he got caught in Jupiter, Florida in 2007 when he was manager of the Cardinals and I was with the Marlins and we had spring training together and he was caught sleeping at a red light? Remember what his quote was in 2007, anybody? I'd Coca find it. It was easy. It was an embarrassment. I regret it and I take responsibility. That was La Russa's quote in 2007. Fast forward 14 years. I made no excuses. It was an inexcusable mistake. It has cost as much embarrassment personally as possible. Anyone to think that this wasn't something that had a very negative impact. I mean, part of the embarrassment and negative feelings is the impact on the organization and the fans and the people that hired me. So it turns out that Tony's saying the same thing in 2021 that he said in 2007. I wonder if that means that he didn't learn. I don't know. Yeah, I do know. The reason why you have to say that in a statement when you're talking about a DUI when you've had more than one is you have to up the ante a little bit. And I just don't think Tony remembered what he said in 2007 because he only upped the ante by saying that it was an inexcusable mistake. He talked about how hard it was, the embarrassment, the pressure that Jerry Reinsdorf felt after he hired him, knowing that he had the DUI and knowing he would be criticized for the hire. Tony, you've got a big light on you. It's the spotlight. Your GM wants to win a World Series. You are trying to make your hiring excusable and your behavior excusable. Guess what, White Sox? You've put a lot of Pressure on your players, and some of them are Young, and you're hoping that Abreu is going to be like an MVP, Again, and I'm not so sure. I got to wait to see for you guys. The White Sox won the World Series in 2005. They made the playoffs in 2008 and 2020. They haven't won a playoff series. Had their first winning year last year, but it was only 60 games. Here's my wait to see. Do you want it? Do you want it? All right, I'm going to give it to you. Do you know they're 10-1 to win the World Series? 10-1. Fifth highest Wait to see. I'm sorry. It's going to be bust. They say it's World Series or bust, and I say bust. They're not going to win the World Series, but that's too easy a wait to see, so I'll go one step further on my wait to see, Coca. They're not going to play in the World Series. They're not the best team in the American League, and even if everything comes together for them, and I hope it does, but it's still not going to be good enough to win the pennant.